Broski, this is somewhat interesting. The wording on this is interesting, right, Jay? You'll kind of back me up on this. A long-term funding plan for Ontario racing was announced. Now, a couple years ago, Ontario got a percentage from slot revenue. But then the government and blah, blah, blah said, nah, we don't want to give that to you. So then they just gave them just cut them a check, basically. We're keeping this simple. But now the same group has said, well, we're going to give you a 19-year deal, essentially. Jay, you want to kind of finish this deal off? Because this seems to be more your line of expertise.
You know, I think the security of it seems nice. Now, it's a law. I think you shouldn't feel like, oh, we're good for 19 years. Like, no, they could easily pull this away, in my opinion, if the things fall into place where someone rises up into power that says, no, we need to get rid of this. I don't see how that can't, I didn't read the whole bill, but, I think it's great to know that there's a little bit of security there, but now it's, okay, we have some funding, we're in a place where we're not in danger, now it's time to become self-sufficient, which is what we've said for God knows how long, but this is the time to do it. You have a security blanket, now rise up.
Yeah, the deal, Broski, says 19 years up to $105 million a year. That's the key word there, up to. They didn't say.
Of course.
Right, yeah. I mean, my yearly salary's up to $105 million each year too. But I think that what Jay was saying is, listen, there is some security now. Now they're basically saying there's no reason why after 5 or 10 years breeders can feel a little bit secure about breeding and putting in the long-term deal that they have to, breed horses. So 4 or 5 years down the line, when we see horses, in these big Canadian races, like that's what this bill is intended for, to give you a little bit of security, not saying, okay, the carpet's going to be pulled out from under you. So again, we've been saying it for a long time. Get your shit together. Not saying that Ontario doesn't have their shit together, but get your shit together. And in 5-10 years, when they're re-examining this bill, you're going to have something. So, Broski, what do you think?
Yeah, I feel like that's been a common topic of conversation on our show. And like we've said, Canada seems to have been having some good ideas as far as, making horse racing better. But and I think it was last time we were talking about this, relying on the casino money and not being lazy, but make your own money. You stop relying on other people. But so that's what this seems like it is. There's some financial security there. So, I feel like that's kind of a weight off people's shoulders, not having to worry about, will I have the funding for this next year or something like that. So it seems like from what we've been talking about, it's a step in the right direction. It's someone stepping up to the plate and taking responsibility and being like, here, this is us generating money for us.
Mm-hmm. Jay, any last words on that?
No, I think we got, it's been a common theme throughout anything you and I have done. It's like, okay, we have some money, it's all out there, but now it's time to become a profitable business.
Ooh-wee. There's going to be a fractional ownership seminar to be hosted by the Indiana Horse Racing Commission. Now, this is both harness and thoroughbreds from what it seems to be. It's going to be held at the Indiana Grand on April 15th, so coming up in a couple weeks. And, Anthony McDonald and the stable's going to be there, Grand Gesture Stables, First Turn Stables. So it's going to be a lot of, they want fractional ownership. They want to try to get this on the ground moving. And Broski, basically fractional ownership is, we're giving you the option to buy a small percentage of a horse for, if you cut down 0.5% of a $100,000 horse, it's relatively affordable for a lot of people. And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get in the door. Because, Broski, do you got $20,000 to buy a horse? No, but you probably got $500, right? That you could say, yeah, maybe I'll give that a try.
Yeah, that's definitely more accessible.
So they're doing this seminar. Jay, what do you think about this?
Yeah, we've said, I don't know if we said, but it seems to be a general thing. Fractional ownership seems to be the best way to get new people into this business. It's a low-cost, low-risk thing that, that's the thing that a young person can kind of get into. They don't have to put up a lot if they still want to get into it. So it's probably the route that we have to go, but we have to make people aware that it's a route they can even take, and this is one way to do it. Now, they have to get people through the doors in this seminar is the most important thing, in my opinion.
I think that that's going to be always getting people in the door, and this should be not a seminar. I don't like the idea of a seminar. This should be a party. The party, Broski, if this was worded differently, marketed a little bit differently, you'd get a lot of young people there. Right now, it still seems a little stiff to me, and I'm not so sure. Yeah, go ahead, Broski.
Well, that's when you first started talking about it, that's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, is this just another party that horse racing's throwing for themselves? But I guess in this case, it would benefit from being a party. You know, you want people to come out there and have a good time and, you know, kick back. You know, maybe you get someone a little drunk and you're like, hey, you know, fractional ownership, you want to throw 500 down towards this horse? Hey, hell yeah, I'll do that. You know, so in this case, it seems like it's a good idea to have a party.
Jay, from our first episode from this year, what was the moniker? Get drunk and buy horses, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Spot on.
So, wait, listen, we love what Indiana's doing, but push the liquor, Indiana. How about that? How about let's?
Sure. Yeah.
Would there be an official liquor of this party? Is there an Indiana liquor? Or, I mean, listen, Jack Daniels could cross the border anytime, right, Jay?
I bet it has to cross two borders. That's Tennessee.
Yeah. Well, what's in Kentucky?
Well, there's several.
Jim Beam?
Maker's Mark.
Oh, well.
Is Wild Turkey? No.
Four
I
Roses,
forget where
Buffalo
Wild
Trace.
Turkey
There's a lot of bourbons.
Look, Jay's got his Jay's a whiskey man, I guess, huh?
You stay there for 4 years, you learn them.
That's true. All right, so Indiana, there's your path to success. Make it a big ass party. We love what you're doing, but make it a party. Jay, there's gonna be. They tried this a couple years ago, but they're bringing it back. There's a new series for open class horses. Broski, basically, you got Pocono that's on the northeast part by where you live, and Philly, Harris, Philly. So what they're trying to do is, it's not that far of a drive. They're trying to do rotating series. Basically, the open horses compete at Pocono for 1 week, and then they go back to Philly for the next week, and they kind of rotate, and they carry. You gain points and stuff like that. I love this idea, Jay, but can we maybe try this with some lower end horses as well? I mean, we know this stuff works, but I want to see this kind of thing with all down the line. What do you think, Jay?
I mean, they have quite a few series for a lot of different types of horses. I think this is an instance where both of these tracks have a lot of slot revenue, and they need to spend it somehow. I think that's kind of the thing that's probably most evident here, considering that you don't have to pay a dime to get into this race, and you're going to go, what is it here? You go $30,000 a leg, except for the first week's $50,000, and then you have a $100,000 final. So that's pretty good money to not pay a dime in. Now, I like to think they're going an added distance. It's 1.25 miles, which is, I've said forever, that good of horses, 1 mile is too short. Let's lengthen it out. I think you'll get some really good racing out of it. Now what they need to do is combine some good betting options with it, some actual advertisement, and this could actually be a yearly thing that people look forward to and you can advertise, kind of like the Levy, in a different form.
Yeah. Broski, what do you think about this whole overall situation?
Yeah, that seems cool. I mean, I know, like, it's different thing, but, and it's obviously at the top of the sport, but, over here, people, go nuts for the Belmont and the Saratoga in this area. People like these events, it seems like. So I feel like, you create something that happens yearly and people can expect, and it obviously it seems like it's already something that's interesting. So, why not do it? Just to, add something else to bring excitement to the sport and bring people to come out and watch.
The only thing I would have to say is it may not be, and which is why I kind of say get away from the open part, is it's in the middle of all the stake schedules. So,
but I think that answers you're probably going to get a situation where some horses that maybe they aren't quite the open, but they're going to have a chance to make their whole season kind of a thing. It would kind of boost the whole market. Those horses that are fringe open horses might you know, it would be a great thing in terms of generating business, generating, you know, buys and claims and stuff like that. Because you might dodge some killers.
Fair enough. So
could you also? I mean, couldn't you do it like tiers? So you could have, you know, your top horses, and then you could have kind of that lower level, and you have that part of the series, and then that just kind of, you know, it gives you a chance for the lower horses to kind of show something.
I guess it all depends on when they actually schedule these legs. But there has to be 6 legs, it says. So that's 6 weeks of racing, and they start the end of May, beginning of May 5th. So then they go all the way to September 2nd. So that's quite a bit of time.
Yeah, I think I didn't think about that, where maybe that is the B tier automatically because they're going to have to compete in all these legs. So hopefully, I think generally what we hope for is that they do this for this year. They take some notes, and they say, next year we're going to make it bigger and better and add. I think that's all we ask for on all these ideas. Take some notes, figure it out, make it better. Next year, come back and just do it better and bigger. That's all we can ask for. Yeah. So whatever the USTA is now accepting applications for their USTA Youth Leadership Subcommittee. Great thing that they did this year, Broski. They committed basically a representation for each district of the USTA, a member between 16 and 20 years old. They can apply to become essentially a director. And the whole point is get a young kid at the table. Give them a seat at the table. So go to USTA.com and, email Allison Conti. Contact her. Her email is aconti, I'll put it right here on the thing. 917@gmail.com. Email her or contact Ellen Taylor at the Harness Horse Youth Foundation. Here's her email and stuff like that. So it's a good thing. I don't even know if there's really anything to talk about. It's something
we've said, everybody said for years. Like, when you're that young, you're not able to become a director, but those people need to have a voice. Finally, they're going to have one. Hopefully, people listen to them. That's the most important thing at this point.
Broski, anything on that?
Yeah, I mean, in this particular instance, I can't really knock anything. This seems like the perfect thing to do. I mean, I feel like obviously young people is one of the biggest things that is going to affect the sport's growth. I think we can kind of see that with an example of the NBA and how popular the NBA is getting, and that's simply because young people like it the most. So I feel like the more you reach out and you get the opinions of young people and you find out, what can bring them into it and, add excitement for them. And getting a young person, putting them in kind of a position of power and, letting them be a representative, I think that's awesome because, that's the only way you're really going to be in touch with, the younger demographic that you're obviously trying to bring in.
This is kind of a dual-parter. This is basically, we're talking about Europe and specifically Ireland, UK, and things like that. So Sarah Thomas put out a great video promoting UK harness racing, and also that the harness racing industry in Ireland is also, they kind of got a Canadian deal as well, where the government, the Department of Agriculture, basically have approved some funding for the Irish Harness Racing Association, I believe. So they're giving them a 5-year strategic plan. It's going to help with new training centers and prize money and infrastructure and breeding and all that stuff like that. So I personally think that more money needs to be devoted towards worldwide harness racing, because soccer, in America isn't that big, although it's growing, but soccer in the world is the biggest sport. And I think harness racing can actually compete with that if we just recognize, hey, there's Ireland, there's UK, there's Australia, and all these other places, instead of just saying, no, we're here in America. I know that's what we like to do, but Jay, what do you think?
I've constantly said it blows my mind in the year of 2018 that betting is not global, and viewing is not global. Like, the internet allows me to talk to anybody in the world. How can I not bet on anything in the world and have their money also into the pools? It just makes no sense why we want to section ourselves off. The whole thing is the more bigger you are, the more power you have. So let's just all combine together and all racing as a force And we'd be pretty strong at that point. If Sweden, France, and U.S. alone combined, and add in Australia and New Zealand too, that's a lot of interest and a lot of fans.
Broski, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, getting more global interest is obviously better. And I mean, when it comes down to it, when you take the dirty principle of don't people just want to make money and be successful? Like, I mean, wouldn't more revenue streams, make the most sense? Like, no, I don't want money from that particular area. I'm okay with that. Like, that just seems kind of ridiculous when probably your bottom line is to try to make money. So why wouldn't you open that up to
harness
anybody?
racing's been building walls before it was cool, I'll have you know.
Yeah,
okay.
that's
so
true.
they're the hipsters of building walls. Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. We're not going to get into the philosophical thing like that. Jay just wants to... Jay, this is your thing, so you just give a quick thing on this.
Louis Philippe Roy, a great driver in Canada, he...
Wait, you're saying it wrong. You're saying... Listen, if you're going to say my man's name, say it right. It's Louis Philippe Roy.
Philippe.
That's Louis Philippe Roy.
I have no peanut butter on the top of my mouth, so I'm not going to be able to say it correctly.
Right. Don't you have to use the when you speak in?
But anyways,
we love Louis. Love Louis.
The French-Canadian guy that Ryan knows how to say his name right. He made a drive that they said was an unsatisfactory. He did not give a proper effort to a heavy favorite, and he was basically given a 15-day suspension for it. And the whole thing that bases this on is the horse was in a non-winners of 2 class. So basically, a lot of people say I'd rather finish second and third in a non-winners of 2 class because the purse is very good and I can stay in there forever and make a lot of money. So if this is such a problem and you think that drivers aren't going to try in these races, why do we still have non-winners of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 races? Why not just make it non-winners of 10,000 lifetime, non-winners of 20,000 lifetime, non-winners of 30,000 lifetime? Because then there is absolutely no incentive not to win, because once you make the money, you're out of the race. So it doesn't matter how fast or how slow you make the money. It's just the whole point is making it. So get rid of these non-winners of 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. races, and a lot of this, is he going to try tonight, is he going to race for second, goes out the window. It's never a problem ever again.
Listen, often pacing has that, and it's working. Like, Ryan just created his own classification system, and it's working pretty well, I think, right? I mean, in the video game. So, it's time to rethink some stuff and, move on. So, on to some fun stuff. You ready, guys?
Oh,
yeah. Pull up this Disney Pixar tournament bracket. Now, you guys have it all pulled up? You guys good?
I'm staring at the trash. You're correct.
Okay, so...
I don't have it. It's on my phone.
Okay, well, so we'll kind of help you along, Broski. So let's just go through. Okay, I'm not gonna move the bracket. I'm not gonna let's come up with our list. Broski, you got a pen and paper? You could write this out real quick.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So Broski's gonna get a pen and paper. So all right, Lion King, Tarzan, Jay. What do you think?
This is not an issue. I mean, come on.
It's Lion King. Yeah, Broski, do you agree? Lion King and Tarzan. Lion King.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lion King.
Right, Lion King. The Princess and the Frog versus Lilo and Stitch. Jay?
I've never seen Princess and the Frog, and I've always liked Stitch, so I'm going Lilo and Stitch.
It's Lilo and Stitch. Just Stitch alone on the marketing.
He's awesome.
And the
Ohana means
awesome.
family. Come on.
Broski?
Yeah, I haven't seen Princess and the Frog either, so I can't comment on that, But Stitch is a lovable character. I mean, I've only seen Lilo and Stitch years ago, but Stitch is a cool character. You can't go wrong with it.
Yeah, Stitch is the man. All right, next one. Tangled and Big Hero. Broski, go first.
I haven't seen Big Hero 6.
All right, here's the thing. It's going to get... It doesn't matter, because it's going to get trumped. Destroyed. Either one's... It's Frozen. Frozen and Mona. I know Mona's popular, but Frozen. Yeah. It's Frozen, right?
Frozen's just catchy. That's all there is to it.
I've never seen Frozen.
No, but I've never seen Frozen either, but I know...
Yeah. I've seen Frozen, and it's good. I will openly admit it. That's a good Disney film.
Jay, do you want to break into song right now?
Oh, no. God, no.
All right. So let's finish this region off. We had Lion King, that takes over Lilo
Yeah,
and Stitch,
oh, yeah.
right? What's Lilo and the Lion King?
So then we had Tangled and Big Hero 6, right?
Doesn't
it
even matter.
They got
We're
got
not
beat
even-
by
Yeah.
Frozen. We know that. So it's Lion King against
Like
Frozen.
and it's Lion
And
and
it's
it's,
Lion King.
so is it? It's
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 Lion-
Frozen.
A Lion King is.
Well, no.
I mean,
It's like
Are you
Timon
listen,
and Pumbaa.
When was the last
Come
time?
on, come on.
When was the last time?
I feel
you were-
like to us it's Lion King, but unfortunately in today's age and climate, it's probably
Okay, but
Frozen.
this is our podcast and our decision, and I believe it's 2-1.
True.
Lion King.
Listen, no, but here's the thing. Kate, you need to come in here and rule over. Help me, Kate, come in here. Listen, we went to Disney.
We need a litigator.
Do you know how many little girls we saw in little Frozen dresses, whatever? And there was things.
Okay.
I mean, Frozen was huge, a lot bigger than Lion King.
If you put Lion
it is
King
what
in
it is.
today's world, it would blow everything out of the water.
So, is it Frozen or Lion King? Come here. Just give a quick. Come here. Give a quick thing. Lion or Frozen King? She doesn't want to come on
fine.
camera. It's a fine. $2. Get out of here. $2 for not contributing to the show. Yeah, I didn't watch Frozen, but I know that Frozen is huge. So you're saying that if Lion King was released
It would
today,
crush.
that Lion, you think so?
Yeah,
The songs,
that's a
Timon
good
and
point.
Pumbaa, the great characters, it's animals. Come on.
Okay.
there's so many
All right.
great voice actors in Lion King. Like,
Oh.
yeah, that's tough.
It's not.
Okay, fine. Listen, I
It's
will secede
emotional.
and say Lion
I
King.
mean,
Yeah,
That is
I mean,
true.
right? I
drop 'em
can't
off the
comment on
cliff.
Frozen.
How can you not cry when little Simba's pulling up to Poppy?
Mufasa gets stampeded. Yeah.
Frozen got nothing on that.
Listen, it's a tough one. All right, so we'll agree with Lion King. Let's move on to the next bracket. Aladdin versus Hercules.
From a personal standpoint, I like Hercules, but Aladdin's the better movie. I mean,
It's
Yeah.
Aladdin, clearly, right?
Yeah. I like Hercules
It's
too,
Aladdin.
but Aladdin is the better movie. Yeah.
Okay, Little Mermaid, Pocahontas. Little Mermaid.
Yeah,
it's
it's Little
always
Mermaid.
Little Mermaid.
Oh, dear.
Whoa.
Oh, no.
Hold on. I got excited. And knocked my whole thing. I was gonna bust into character, and
A Little Mermaid is just too sexy. You got too excited. I mean,
that's true.
Right?
Ariel. Listen. I watch Little Mermaid probably every day on my VHS tape. Yes, VHS kids. I don't know if anybody knows what that is anymore.
right?
And
The one with the penis castle.
yes,
on the
that's
front
right.
cover. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. Yep.
I mean, Little Mermaid wins just for Under the Sea alone.
Oh yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Yep. And then Little Mermaid over Aladdin, clearly, right?
Yeah, I go
Yeah.
with that. I like
Yeah.
Little Mermaid more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Mulan versus
Mulan.
Zootopia.
Oh my God.
Mulan, I haven't even seen.
It doesn't
Zootopia.
matter.
Yeah,
It's
Zootopia is
Mulan.
like
Yeah,
Okay.
Mulan is a classic.
here's where it gets interesting. Beauty and the Beast versus Nightmare Before Christmas. Two
Ooh.
totally separate things, guys.
I am all aboard the
Yeah.
upset here. Nightmare Before Christmas. I don't like
saying
Beauty and the Beast.
I think so too. I loved Nightmare Before Christmas when I was younger, so I think I'm really gonna have to go with that one too.
Okay, I'm gonna say that I love the live rendition with Emma Watson of Beauty and the Beast. I don't care. At me, come at me, don't at me. I will fight you and say that was a fantastic movie. I was crying. I cried. I was singing along. I never really remembered Beauty and the Beast as a kid, but this live rendition, I mean, I can't
Brought
wait.
back your love.
I can't wait for these other ones that are going to be coming out. So Beauty and the Beast for me.
Okay.
But I will secede Nightmare Before Christmas. So now we
Doesn't
got.
matter. It's gonna get blown
Nightmare
out of the
Bef-
water anyways.
Yeah,
it's
I mean
Mulan.
it's comes down to what
Mulan.
you're saying Mulan over Nightmare Before
A
Christmas? 'Cause
1,000
I was
times.
advancing. Really?
Mulan. I'm picking Mulan through this whole quadrant.
Oh no, not over The Little Mermaid.
I
Absolutely
will make
not.
a man
I will
out
fight
of you.
over that.
Yeah,
I will
that's-
make
I will
a man out
fight
of
you
you
over
Ryan
that.
Macedonio.
Mulan has a lot going
All
on.
right,
in
so
that
I have an
movie.
open confession. My number one karaoke song at a bar is "I'll Make a Man Out of You."
I'll make it.
Yeah.
Okay. But that still doesn't take away from the fact that Little Mermaid is way better. Like, it's not even in the same league as Mulan.
I don't know. I'm a massive.
What is so good about
Mulan fan?
Listen, it's the story. Little Mermaid is the story. I mean, they made Mulan just to bring in the Asian demographic. I'll say it right now. You know, I don't care.
Crushed
Little
it.
Mermaid. They brought in, but they made Little Mermaid to bring in the mermaid demographic. So
yeah.
I guess I could see where they're really struggling.
The Little Mermaid demographic.
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
Right.
So I guess I could see.
Not the
they were
redheads.
specifically targeting the crab people from South Park.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Listen,
Or the merman from that new Shape of Water movie, I guess.
Yeah, the creepy fish sex film, yes.
Yeah.
Broski, you're going to have to settle this.
Yeah.
A Little Mermaid or Mulan. This is a big decision for you. Don't take it lightly, but just remember that it's my show and I could just knock you off.
Just remember you're the
and
star of the show,
people's love.
Broski, and nothing matters but you.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Broski's a star.
This is tough.
Broski, we grew up with Little Mermaid.
I think I'm gonna have to go with Little Mermaid
Thank you.
just because of the sentimentality. But Jay, I do love Mulan. If Mulan was going up against something else in the bracket, it would probably win.
When I have to defeat the Huns, I will not be calling either of you. I will let you know that.
Yes. All right, so let's try. Okay, second part of the bracket, third bracket, Up versus Brave.
Up's fantastic movie. Absolutely fantastic movie. Up made me cry.
Up made you cry. Okay,
yeah.
so we're learning about each other here in this segment.
Very okay.
I'm gonna say Brave. I didn't see either one of them, but just Brave sounds cooler to me. You gotta. That's the redheaded archer, right?
Up is like
yeah.
like award nominated. Like it was deep for a Disney movie. Whew.
Okay. Broski, settle this. Up or Brave? But
I haven't seen Brave.
It doesn't actually matter.
But
Broski,
I must say this one really doesn't matter because the next one.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It doesn't matter. Well, okay, so I'm gonna go with Brave because, like, I liked Up as a movie. I just thought there was a lot of weird things going on in that.
Yes,
movie.
absolutely.
And it hit you in the gut from the get go, and then it was kind of just like, you know, it was weird. I just thought it was a weird movie.
Toy Story or Toy Story 2?
Why did they pair those in the first round? Is what I want to know.
This is a
that's dumb.
This is a 1 and a 1 seed. I mean, this is like,
I
but we agree. Are we agreeing that Toy Story 3 is the third in this list? Right? It's Toy Story 1, Toy Story 2, and Toy Story 3 is great, but not in the realm of Toy Story 1 or Toy Story 2.
Yeah, I can go with
for
that.
sure. Yeah.
I lean towards Toy Story 1. Just because
I think I do too.
Yeah.
It's just
the introduction of the characters and everything. It just
yeah.
The villain is fantastic.
Yeah. Sid, right?
It's everything about Toy Story. It was the first. I mean, this is Godfather. This is the Godfather to me of it's animated and what's the other one? Computer animated?
CGI, isn't it?
This is the number one rank, I think, of all that type of animation. There's cartoons and then this type of animation. Maybe that's what it is. It's a cartoon and animation, whatever it is. This is the number one seed. This beats them all. I'll say it right here.
Fair enough.
Okay. Next one, Coco and Cars 3.
Have you seen both of these, guys?
No.
Go
But
watch Coco.
I hear about Coco,
Coco is very good.
So
okay.
I'm gonna and Cars is just a stupid franchise. I'll say it now. Cars is a dumb franchise. Okay. So I haven't even seen Coco. Coco obliterates Cars.
And basically, Toy Story. I mean,
Toy Story 3.
The Good Dinosaur.
I've never seen I didn't know a Good Dinosaur was an actual.
Never seen a Good Dinosaur.
Listen, if Land Before Time was in this, Land Before Time versus Toy Story. Now that's a discussion.
That's a heavyweight. Yeah, that's a heavyweight.
That's
match.
a heavyweight right there. Maybe that's for another
debate.
time that we can have that discussion. But right now, Toy Story I think is just sweeping through right to our final three. Last bracket: Ratatouille versus A Bug's Life.
I love A Bug's Life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bugs Life.
Ratatouille
Great.
is very good, but I love A Bug's
Great.
Life.
I mean, this is a great matchup here, but probably Bugs Life for me too. So
Yeah.
that's a sweep, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Finding Nemo versus Inside Out.
I'm all Finding Nemo.
Never seen Inside
Nemo's
Out.
fantastic.
Nemo,
It's Finding
obviously.
Nemo. I mean, Finding Nemo is it's fantastic. Monsters Inc. versus
It's
Cars.
Monsters Inc. Let's just keep moving. Come on.
Yeah. Cars. This is another intriguing one. The Incredibles versus
They should
Wally.
not have paired these two together, but
This is another heavyweight battle. Man, this is tough.
this is
Who are the Incredibles up
Wally.
against? Sorry?
Wally.
Wally. Oh, okay,
I am all
yeah.
aboard the Wally train. I gotta be honest.
Okay.
I love that movie.
Yeah, Wally caught me off guard. I hadn't seen it for a while, and finally I was like, you know what, let me watch this. And I was like, wow, this is actually a really good movie. That's not to say that The Incredibles isn't good too,
Right.
but
Wally,
I think
Wally
I
is
liked
very
Wally.
symbolic and thematic
Deep,
for a Disney
dark.
movie.
Yes, there's a lot of symbolism in Wally.
It's deep,
Yeah,
man.
It's deep. Yeah, Wally's deep.
All right, so Wally versus Monsters Inc. Another both
Yeah,
deep,
that's
both
hard.
real deep. Like Pixar, man, they go out on a limb when they grab onto something. There's some deep, dark stuff in there that really hits home. But I think I got to go with Monsters Inc. over Wally.
I think I gotta go Wally. I'll let Broski decide.
Broski, you're the
And
tiebreaker.
I'm not,
again.
there's no wrong answer here.
See, I'm gonna have to go Wally, but I am not a big fan of Monsters Inc.,
Okay.
which is one of the biggest issues I had with this bracket overall, and I guess we'll get to that.
Okay.
But so I'm gonna have to go with Wally here.
Okay.
I think Wally is just, like Monsters Inc. was decent,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like Wally was more of like, I can make more of a connection
Yeah.
to Wally it was deeper, I guess.
So now the heavyweight. This is probably our biggest heavyweight matchup out of the final four. Wally versus Finding Nemo. Jay, you want to take this one?
Yeah. Whew. Man, that's hard.
This is tough.
I'd still probably go Wally. I thought that's the most
You're-
complex Disney film I've ever seen, with basically one
Yeah.
character too.
Yeah.
See, now I'm gonna go Finding Nemo, and I listen. I have no problem on either or. Broski, you're gonna be the tiebreaker again on this. But Finding Nemo, I think it took what Toy Story was and made it better. But I still think that Toy Story is better. But Finding Nemo was the perfect example of what you want to do for any, whatever's previously laid out. Finding Nemo it hit home run, absolutely home run. So Broski, break the tie.
I think I'm gonna have to go with Wally again. Like I like Nemo, and like you said, Nemo has a lot of staying power. You can always watch Nemo. It's very good. Nemo is definitely up there with Toy Story. But I feel like, me personally, I just liked a lot of what Wally had to offer. I mean, the enormously fat people in the hovering seats. I thought that was absolutely hilarious. That's what that Disney. This was a Disney or Pixar depiction of what humanity ends up as. I thought that was absolutely hilarious. I'll have to give Wally here.
All right. So do you guys want to do the final four, or do you want to do that for another show? Because
It's up to you.
You're
I'll
the boss,
keep going.
man.
okay. Maybe. I don't.
We want a long show, or
No, I want to cut that off here. I want to cut that off here. We
Okay.
got our final four, just like in real life. So next.
So let's give people the rundown. What is
Yeah.
the final four?
It's
Or is
Lion King.
It's on the screen.
Lion King,
Little
Little
Mermaid,
Mermaid,
Toy Story,
Wally, and Toy Story.
Yeah.
So that's the final four.
That's a good final four. It's a good final
final
Strong.
four.
Ooh.
So, I'd like to know if anybody has any other. I would almost open it up to, hey, give us your final four out of these 32 because. I mean, I could see where some matchups or blah blah blah, but I'd like to know everybody's final four in this.
Sure.
And then next
Sure,
week,
yeah.
we will spend a little bit more time breaking down. I think what we should do is watch the movies again.
Oh yeah, I might have
It's
to.
4 movies. It's 4 movies. I think that we deserve to give this bracket the true research that that maybe this will be a Revolution episode.
You want me
I don't know.
You want me to watch 4 classic movies, man? You're really twisting my arm.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So I think that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna give the final 4 out. And let's move on. Let's try to finish the rest of the episode real quick. We're gonna skip that. Here's a quick recommendation, a TV recommendation: Santa Clarita Diet.
Really?
Season 2. Have you guys seen this?
No,
show on Netflix.
I heard a couple people on Twitter kind of bash it right when it first came out, so I never touched it. But
no, dude. I mean, this is such a well-written show, and it's exactly what I love because they go off on tangents. There's a line of what's happening, but right in all the chaos, they go off on these tangents and they make little comments, and it's brilliant. It's Drew Barrymore, probably her best role. It's about and I don't know the guy's name.
Timothy Oliphant.
Yeah,
right?
Timothy Oliphant.
Yeah, that's him.
And it's a great show, and it's easy to binge watch. It's about a family from Santa Clarita, California. They're the perfect family, and Drew Barrymore becomes a zombie, and it's spoiler alert, it's gory as hell, and it's funny as fuck, and it's a great show. So I recommend you guys.
I got a recommendation too, actually, since we're on the TV.
Okay.
I've dove into the documentary on Netflix called Wild Wild Country. It's about
Okay.
Oh. It's about the Rajneeshi that are the cult that was in Oregon. They took over an entire town basically, and they kind of like basically got into basically a war with the people that were there and the FBI and everything, and it is nuts. Like, I had no idea this existed, and it was because it was in the 80s, before my time, but it is absolutely insane. Like, something you couldn't imagine this happening today is the way I would put it. It is unreal.
Okay, so there you go. Broski, do you have any recommendations or?
No, I haven't seen that yet,
Okay.
but I saw the preview for that, but that seems cool. No, I got nothing.
Okay. Well, Jay has a video game recommendation. You want to talk about your video game?
Yeah, I started it and I put it down and I've picked it back up again the past week, and I am all aboard Fortnite now. I am addicted, and it's a problem, but it's so much fun.
It's a problem.
It's like once you get into it, and you know how to play it, it's so much fun.
Give a quick breakdown of the game, Jay, so everybody can. And what's your gamer tag?
It's basically like Hunger Games, basically, is what it is. Like the actual like contest of Hunger Games is like you get dropped into like a island, and there's 100 other people, and you have to try and collect weapons as fast as you can before somebody else finds you, and try to become the sole survivor through guns, grenades, building your own little forts to protect yourself. It's addictive, and it's kind of a very animated thing. It's not gory at all, even though you have weapons. So it's there's all ages play it. It's a blast.
Well, 2 things. This is Donald Trump's favorite game. You know why, right?
You can build walls, man, to your heart's
right,
desire.
You can just build them.
To your absolute heart's desire.
And 2, what makes the game great is you start off on this big island, and every 2 or 3 minutes, the enclosure, it's an artificial area, gets closer and closer. So you can't just camp out somewhere. You can't just hide out.
They're drawing you in, like just like in Hunger Games, where they use like weapons to like make you go closer to everybody. Like you can't hide out. You will get destroyed unless you keep moving.
Yeah, so it's a great game. It's very popular, and it's free.
Yeah,
so
it's free.
Yeah. So I mean, who doesn't like that? Last thing, I promise. This is the last thing, guys. Have you watched any minor league baseball this year?
Minor league or just spring training?
Yes. No, minor league baseball. Do you guys know what they're doing in the minor leagues? It may be the greatest marketing campaign ever.
Do tell.
Okay.
I may have heard about this.
So the minor league baseball has decided that, hey, listen, we need reasons for people to go to our games, and we need to celebrate other, our heritage and things like that. So they announced plans for the Copa de la Diversión, or the Fun Cup. And basically what it's doing is all of the 33 teams in minor league baseball, they're embracing their Hispanic and Latino culture. So what they're doing is they're releasing special uniforms and caps on game days, and some customary flair and things like that. And to make it more interesting. And they've come out with, you guys have to go to milb.com. It's part or lids or any of these other things. The greatest one, there's a whole list of new names. The San Antonio Missions, right, will now be known as the Flying Chanclas de San Antonio. Do you know what a flying chancla is?
The sandal. It's a flying.
It's a sandal. It's a
Latino
sandal.
mothers always throw sandals at their kids.
Oh.
Yes, your abuelita. No. It's and it's actually like the part of the Latino culture they celebrate, because your abuelita, it represents strength. So it's actually a symbol of just awesomeness.
Cool.
And it's I mean, they went crazy with some of these things. There's tacos, there's biting chihuahuas, and cheeseburgers, and there isn't a hot dog one. I think we're gonna have to make a hot dog. One of these.
Don't even start. No, this episode needs to be wrapped up. Not.
But just the branding and the marketing, they're already sold out. All of these hats, all of these T-shirts, jerseys, sold out, back ordered, because bright colors, cool logos, culture, representation. It doesn't matter. Yes, it's celebrating Latino culture, but they could easily do this elsewhere. And this is where harness racing could learn from it. Sell something, make it cool, and you'll be like, look, this is an awesome Rick and Morty hat, okay? Like, make cool stuff.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah. Ooh-wee. Make things that people will want to wear, especially young people, and it will sell. It doesn't have to be directly related. All this stuff is just total nonsense, and it's great marketing. So, Jay, any words on this?
No, I'm gonna have to look into this. There might be some hats I got to cop. I'm always a hat fiend. I like to pick them up.
Yeah, this was my surprise topic for the guy, so I didn't really give him a chance. But I'm telling you,
cool.
It's awesome. Look it up. All the minor league baseball things, they've already, a lot of the things are back ordered, so you're gonna have to wait a month to get them, especially the Flying Chanclas. But listen, harness racing can learn from that. Make something cool. Just if you act like it's cool, it will be cool.